And that brings us to the third gift that Christ gives to every one of His followers, which leads to peace. Christ gives us, say it with me, He gives His forgiveness, He gives His fellowship, and then thirdly, He gives us His future. And this brings us to the third section of Psalm 46. The focus of this section is on the future, and it's on the entire earth. Write that down. The focus of this section is the entire globe, the entire planet. And the message that comes through this section is this: God will rule the earth and He will fill it with His peace. What Jesus is doing or wants to do inside the heart of every one of His followers, He's going to do to the entire earth. Read the words with me. Come, behold the works of the Lord, how He has brought desolations on the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the chariots with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Hopefully you remember a couple weeks back when we were talking about the last days, and we said how history is His story, and that since the death and resurrection of Christ, we've been in the last days, and all this time, these 2,000 years, God has been working in, with, and under the flow of history to bring this earth to a finished destination. And He tells us what it'll look like when He's done. The earth will be filled with the glory of God. Remember when we talked about that? It'll be filled with His presence, His beauty, His goodness, and His truth. That's what section 3 here is describing. But because there's evil still at work in the earth, getting to this place will be a bit of rough sledding. Satan's not going to go down without a fight, and the unbelieving world will be in cahoots with his agenda. So to get to verse 9, where wars cease and spears are shattered, we still have to go through verse 8, where God works desolations on the earth. He's going to have to shake the earth multiple times to get our attention. God doesn't want to lose anyone. He wants no one to perish. And these are the ways that He gets our attention. But have no doubt about it, the psalm says, God's purposes will be fulfilled. When all is said and done, God wins. And goodness wins. And now at last, we come to verse 10. The verse all of you know. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. 90% of Christians know this verse, but 90% of those that know it don't understand fully what it means. Ripped out of the psalm and stuck on a plaque somewhere and hung up on a wall has kind of a hallmark sentiment to it. We look at it and we go, oh, if I just quiet the noise in my life and I slow down some of the busyness, I'll experience more of God. It's kind of a modern American thought, and it'll preach. That's a biblical principle, but this verse is saying so much more than that. And with the eyes and ears of faith, can you hear God saying to you right now, my child, be still. Be still. Can you hear God saying to us right now, my dear ones, all this agitation that's going around in this world outside your window, the wars and rumors of wars, the mountains falling into the sea and the waves and the roaring and the foaming of it all those headlines that you read every day. Are we going to get a second wave or not? Is the recession going to lead into a depression? And oh Lord, I'm worried. What's going to happen to my family and to my job? And God just comes to us and says, shh, be still. And know that I am God. And I'm working. And when I'm done working, all this rattle and hum will be over. Be still. Can you hear God say to us right now, my child, be still. Hang on to me tight. Keep growing in your faith. Keep seeking me. Keep serving me. Be still and know that I am God. And keep lighting up the darkness and keep pushing back at the evil that's in this world. Speak the truth, but in love. Let my rule increase in your heart and your home. Be still and know that I am God. And then let it spread out from there. Get out on the street and get in the public square. Tell your story. Share your hope. Let the name of Jesus drip like dew from your lips. You're forgiven, so forgive others. You've been given grace, a river of it, so you give that grace to others as well. Be still and know that I am God. And be your brother's keeper. Don't forget that. Work for righteousness and justice where you can, for these are the foundations of God's throne. But keep running back to Jesus and keep hiding yourself in Him and keep filling yourself up with Him. You're going to take hits. You're going to be misunderstood. The mob is going to hiss at you and spit at you. Be still and know that I am God. And one day, the tumult of this life will end. And your eyes will close. And the storms will cease, and the crying will stop, and the heartaches will end. And then your eyes will open again. And you'll see Him. And He'll take your hand, and He'll touch your hand, and dry your tears, and He'll lift you up, and He'll show you a world that just is so much more beautiful than you ever could have imagined. And He will say to you, my child, be still. And know that I am God.